All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the final match of the day. We are going to be having ourselves a best of 5. It is going to be souL taking on MaNa in a TVP to see who advances and makes it into the money and gets to play versus MaNa. Or gets to play versus souL tomorrow. Every player you saw today, you will see tomorrow. As every player you see today, you will see tomorrow. As there is the lower bracket, which will have some very, very great players. And yeah. Then we'll be starting off tomorrow with the winner of this versus souL, which will be a very good match. And then yeah, then we'll be having the lower bracket matches. So best of 5 and then 2 best of 7s or 4 best of 3s, pardon me. And oh, looks like we're going to be having a bit of a cheeky start from MaNa, going for a proxy gateway along with his initial gateway. So a bit of a cheeky cheese coming out of the Protoss to start things off. souL will SCV scout. So he should be aware that this is going to be coming his way. However, this is still a very big pain of a build to play versus. We shall see if souL is going to, nope, not wait for his SCV to confirm the Nexus before he throws that down. There is always a chance that he'll just go for a quick bunker, though, which would really help souL out, which is generally what you want to do when you see the lack of this. MaNa's like, oh yeah, I'm totally going for a late expand or whatever. souL, though, a good player, should know the timing for this. Throws up a bunker immediately, keeps his Reaper at home. But oh my gosh, MaNa, continuing on with the cheeky cheese, throws up yet another proxy pylon. So he's effectively just going to be one-basing it. souL goes for a bit of a cheeky eBay. Going to keep building that up while the SCV runs away. However, MaNa, I don't think has much intent to expand, as he's got this other pylon here, and I'm willing to bet it's going to be like a Stargate, maybe a Robo, something else behind that to keep this pressure going. And there's actually no full wall for souL, so this Adept just gets on into the main base. The Reaper going down would really be a pain for souL. Does a good job, though, keeps that alive. Marines chasing this first Adept. The second one is being blocked now by that add-on. The souL does get up his natural base command center. He cleans the Adept up into the main. So far, so good for the Terran player. Reaper has given this Adept a hard time, bouncing in and out of that bunker. This one Adept very low on HP, probably going to go down. Nicely done by souL, using the superior range of his units. Now he is producing some Marines behind this. However, he could be having himself a tough time because MaNa is going to be going hard onto souL right now. He throws down yet another pylon. I can only imagine it's going to be for some shield batteries or something. And then has an Oracle that's going to be popping on out. A Cyclone is on the way for souL. He's making some more Marines. He's going to pull away from his natural base. In goes the Oracle, though, suddenly flying on in towards the main base. souL going to have to get his Marines in here to chase this away. The Cyclone will be about to finish on up, so souL should take minimal damage to this. Is able to repel it, and so far is still in a pretty good spot in this game, I'd have to say. Cyclone pops out, will mark the end of this Adept, terrorizing this mineral line. But, I mean, in comes the Void Ray next, so this aggression is only just getting started here by MaNa. Gonna be pressuring souL pretty darn hard. Double shield battery and the Void Ray on the way, but this just seems a little bit late. Did souL spot this, though? That is the question. No, he didn't actually see the pylons there. So he's not really aware that this is going to be continuing on. The Viking all of a sudden is going to say, ruh-roh, I got to get out of here. Can it escape the Void Ray? No, it can't. The Void Ray, or the Viking, goes down, which is a big pain for souL, who should fire up Mag Field Accelerator, and yes, he does, because the Cyclones really are the only thing with the DPS to take down Void Rays with shield battery coverage. Cyclones will be locking onto the Adepts, which is nice for souL. However, the Oracle and the Void Ray causing him grief in his main base. The Marine's going to chase them away. However, he'll just get to the shield battery and be fine for the most part. The Cyclones lock onto the Void Ray, but not able to kill it. souL himself is doing alright defending versus this, but, I mean, if we take a look, MaNa behind this is at 43 workers, so it's not like he's even that all-in on this push. It's pretty all-in, make no mistake. But he can definitely potentially transition out of this. Cyclones lock onto the Void Rays. They got themselves a lot of DPS, knocking out that shield battery energy. Once the Cyclones have that Mag Field Accelerator, it's going to make life a lot easier for souL, as the Voids will just be locked on and die pretty soon after. Shield battery is getting locked on. MaNa just going to have to accept the fact that that one's going to die, and souL just has to really keep producing Cyclones, and he's going to be fine. And when he has that many, he should just be able to repel this. Looks like he's not even going to wait for his Mag Field Accelerator to push this back, and just says, yeah, I'm able to end this rush now. MaNa gonna be losing multiple pylons here, gonna be in potential danger as souL's gonna be pushing out onto the map. Mag Field Accelerator is gonna be tough to stop here. MaNa's cheese really didn't get that much done, so souL's gonna be counterattacking. 4 Cyclones with Mag Field Accelerator is essentially 4 confirmed dead Protoss units. And while the Void Rays are strong, I don't know if there's going to be enough to stop this. souL's actually just going to push up this ramp. Cyclones moving on up. They get their lock-ons off. What are they going to kill? The answer is 1 Stalker so far. One of the Cyclones did die. souL might just be better going up and around here before he pushes on in. Of course, souL isn't all in either. He has his 3rd command center popping on out after this. Cyclones locking onto some of the Void Rays. One of them goes down. The skirmish continues on right now as these players are battling it out. The Vikings helping engage the Void Rays, the Marines putting out a lot of damage while the Cyclones can get their lock-offs on. So far, though, it looks like MaNa might just hold on versus this rush. Cyclones killing off units, but ultimately not enough in order to secure souL a sudden victory. MaNa hangs on. souL macroing up behind this, has his +1 on the way. He hasn't started his stim pack yet, though he's throwing up more and more barracks. But yeah, MaNa held on and effectively got away with his aggression. Banshee for souL is going to be a nice move, as there isn't actually anything really to detect this just yet. The Robo is on the way, but the Robo is not yet done. The Oracle is still alive, though, so that, okay, that can actually be enough in order to repel this. Stalker's going to be looking for some aggression. They do have Blink, so they can blink up into the main base. Stimpack could potentially be vulnerable here. That Siege Tank's going to have to reposition, but Stimpack actually is going to go down. So souL is definitely going to need some counter damage getting done right now. Like some probes are going to go down, but he's taking damage himself in his main base. Even at his natural, the Void Rays are coming on in. Marines are engaging the Voids, but it's not even enough Marines, I think, to win this fight. It's going to be close, but yeah, souL taking a lot of damage. MaNa himself has taken quite a few probe losses, but still, I mean, getting Stimpack is absolutely huge for MaNa. Really delays the push of souL. Banshee not being focus fired down on some of the probes, not getting its full potential there. $18 probes in all have gone down as another Banshee comes on in. Picks off a fair few, so souL definitely keeping himself in this game by getting those constant kills. He's not going to be moving on out. Of course, his Stimpack not yet done because that was delayed. He will have his own +1 soon, though, and I think the production for souL still is going to be pretty scary because MaNa doesn't have a ton going for him. He's throwing up a Robo Bay. He's throwing up Templar Archives now, but besides the Stalkers, he really doesn't have that much. Neither these Stalkers nor these Voids will contest with mass-stimmed bios, so MaNa's going to have to buy himself some time. Well, looks like he's going to come on in, but there's plenty of bio in order to repel this army. Void Ray is still being a pain. But soon enough, souL's going to have Stim Pack. He's got Medivac production beginning, and that's where the trouble is going to begin for the Protoss player. souL even getting some counter damage done with yet another Banshee. Gets himself 5 more probe kills. Banshee comes on in. Gets itself a sentry. May be able to get itself another probe or two. Actually makes it into the main base, while the other Banshee in the main is picking off more probes. So MaNa losing a lot of probes to these Banshees this game. A scan even going down, which is kind of cute for souL. Not sure what that's about. That might be a misclick, I feel. Yeah, that's got to be a misclick. Fusion Core is on the way for souL, so probably indicating that he wants to go into Liberator range after this. But the game might not even make it that long. souL's going to be pushing on in, while the Protoss army is pretty formidable. This is 1-1 Terran Bio going up against 0-0 Protoss. That doesn't really have much to support it. 1 Colossus is going to be out, but even that 1 Colossus, I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference. souL has siege tanks as well to aid him in this push. MaNa might just have to forfeit this next, as he's going to need a very good engagement. All of a sudden, in comes the Protoss player, but the siege tank shelling away on the army. The 1-1 making the bio carry through is going to mean that MaNa, I don't think, is going to be able to hold on versus this. Although, as I say that, he's still alive. The tanks probably want to shuffle forward a little bit for souL. Yeah, the tanks probably should be shuffling forward for souL a little bit so he can force MaNa into a bad fight sooner rather than later. Another Colossus does come forward, but the Nexus of MaNa is simply going to be right-clicked on. And that's going to really hurt the economy of the Protoss player. souL says, right, I did enough damage so I can simply retreat. The siege tanks get saved in the Medivacs. Nicely done. And while these units being kited away, souL still with the upgrade lead. souL still with the higher army supplies doing alright for himself, but he does have to respect the fact that his bio is very overstimmed right now. These boys are just trying to get home, and oh, some of this army is really playing with fire by staying out on the map a little longer than they need to. souL desperately just gonna try and hold on, and once he holds on, he can probably be in a very good spot to win this game. MaNa really can't push on in. His army just isn't that impressive at this point in the game. He's throwing up double Stargate, I guess expecting the Liberators to be coming. Liberators setting on up. souL tries to stim into the Colossus, but good force fields holding this back. MaNa is very committed to this attack, though. souL pulling SCVs away from this, trying to run away. He's now coming in with his Liberators. Really needs to get on top of this army, though. So far, he's picked off 2 of the Colossus. MaNa really committed to this attack. souL is actually having a tough time cleaning this. His Liberators and siege tanks are doing the best that they can, though, but it's still pretty close for him cleaning this up. Looks like he does clean it up, though, and takes game number 1 in this best. There we go. My mic does seem to be having some issues. I am not sure what the result of that is, or the cause. However, I'm keeping an eye on it. It's at least kind of notifying me a little bit. We have been live for 5 hours, just about, with Afreeca World 50. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. We will load on into the next game ASAP. And, yeah. I do appreciate everyone supporting this event. Make sure to press that 1 up button. Press that 1 up button, leave a favorite. You can also find my Twitter linked in the description. Feel free to check out my YouTube as well. As we were loading on into the next game. In the bottom left-hand side of the map, he's down 0-1. It's MaNa. And in the top right-hand side of the map, it's souL. No proxy gate just yet for MaNa. As a matter of fact, he is looking for the proxies. Terroristic probe. Actually delaying souL's command center till the adept gets across the map. Which is a pretty big pain. All the while, MaNa, he's got a proxy pylon and is going to be DT rushing souL. Reaper goes down to the Stalker as it approaches. The adept's going to be the new target. Gets cleaned on up by the Hellion. As the skirmish early on continues on. Another proxy pylon for MaNa, as he's just trying to pressure souL so much that he's not really prepared for DTs. So far he's doing a good job of that. No bunker up for souL. Lesson be learned, Terran, always make an early bunker, or this will be your fate. souL just getting snowballed here a little bit by MaNa. He's making a Raven, though. Okay, this Raven will actually be a saving grace, most likely. You'll have to forgive me as I had my my quick breakfast there. Just trying to stay alive. Up since 4, your body's like, you know, you're hungry now. I already guess that was my second breakfast. Because I kind of already had one. But that was quite a ways ago. Pylon gets spotted. souL's gonna clean that up, while MaNa loads up into his Prism with his double Archon. Hoping to get anything that he can done. As he didn't get much done with the DTs at all. So, we shall see. MaNa's looking to go for a bit of a multi-pronged attack too. He's got charge. He's looking to hit souL's third base while he drops Archons in his main. Looks like a couple of Widow Mines and a ton of charge lots going to be setting on up in there too. A couple of the mines taking out some of the Zealots. However, the main attack is also hitting towards the third base, and souL could be in trouble now. Stimpack not even done. Looks like he does defend his third base from that attack. However, there is a lot more going on here. Raven dumps auto turrets to help save the day and repel this Protoss army, but there's a lot more coming. Widow Mine's gonna burrow. Do they get the connections they need? Looks like they actually soften up a lot of the Zealots there, so this is looking okay for souL so far. However, MaNa even has quite a good probe count behind this, so these Marauders and SCVs fighting for their lives, trying to do whatever they can, and just so many have died. A few more reinforcements coming in from the natural, but just with Zealot warping after Zealot warping, souL seems to be getting snowballed here. MaNa just making massive work happen. Another auto turret is ready to help on out, but it's simply too much Protoss right now. I think souL's just dead. Yeah, he cannot stop this. Wow. MaNa's all in, wins. GG. I barely talked that game. However, it was played very, very well. Very, very well by MaNa. Just going for his big old attack and making it work. So we have a tied series, 1-1. And this series is for the money as well. Whoever makes it into the next round of this, yeah, will be in the money. They'll be in the winners finals, which is a best of 5. Very nice viewer count for this whole event. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. I know it's quite late in Korea at this point, where a lot of you are watching. Just waiting on souL to hop on in. He seems to have disappeared. Probably just stepped aside for a drink or something. Yeah, a great event though. Thanks so much, everyone. This is just day number 1 too. We've got 2 more days of this. I'm excited to see how that's going to play out. Definitely going to get some more sleep tonight before doing this. I tried to sleep last night, and I fell asleep at like 10 and I woke up at like 1:30 or something. And I could not get back to sleep for the life of me. So just a little bit of sleep. Alright, here we are. It is a best of 5, and it's currently tied up 1-1. In the top left, it's Liquid MaNa. And in the bottom right, it's souL. If you have a game in which you get snowballed like souL did, you're probably going to have yourself a bad time. It's a bad omen. Now we will see how well souL's going to do versus MaNa in the next game. souL seems very comfortable in his macro, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. Lord Ishker says, since when did MaNa become so cheesy? I don't know if he is cheesy. I think they're probably just well thought out builds. Like he played MaNa, or he played Clem, and now he's playing souL, and they're both very strong macro Terrans. So not wanting to go into the late game versus them straight up is understandable. Like, making ghosts and making Vikings and things versus Protoss is very, very tough to do. But when Terrans are good at it, it actually becomes quite scary for the Protoss. So someone as good as souL, he's not going to eat a ton of Psystorm or whatever. He's going to punish you with Liberators. Like, it's understandable why MaNa wants to kill him. MM79 saying MMR in chat. I know souL's around 7k. MaNa is somewhere below that. Yeah, MaNa still is a pretty strong macro toss. But he does rely on changing up his build a fair bit. And I believe he could macro up pretty well. But a very important part of StarCraft 2 is also having that killer's instinct of knowing when you can just end a game. MaNa is 6-4. That sounds about right. So MaNa's lower MMR than souL, but usually MaNa has the better tournament results. Because souL, he has some issues with tournaments. SCV gonna be saved. Reaper comes on in. Throws a grenade in the adept space. Very rude. Stalker coming on in, so the Reaper gonna be in trouble. Tosses the grenade to save its own life, but then accidentally pads down the cliff. All of a sudden, souL's bullied off his natural once again. Gotta wait for a couple more Marines to pop out, so he is going to be able to push that away. Widowmine gonna burrow. souL queues up double Reapers, which I don't know if that's a misclick or what. The Widowmine zoning out the Stalkers. All the while, there's a proxy gateway going up, so MaNa just gonna keep this coming. Keep the pain train a-coming. The double Reaper's actually finished up, so I don't know what that is. That's just bizarre from souL. Double Reaper's not really doing much. MaNa is going into Blink behind this with a proxy gateway, so really going to be putting the pressure on souL. He's now going into a Banshee behind this, so souL's playing very, very odd. The one Reaper going to cross the map, try and see what's going on. However, this is going to be tough for souL because his first tank is popping out at the time Blink is about to finish up. He's got Widow Mines that he's setting up to prevent the Stalkers blinking on up. However, the Stalkers just blink on top of the Siege tank, and that's going to be very disastrous for souL. I mean, the Stalkers getting caught up on the SCVs, yes, but they're going to have another blink in just a second here. And there's going to be more Stalkers on the way in. This is just very, very tough going for souL. Yeah, souL is just dead here. He's just going to die. Sad times for souL. Like, even if MaNa doesn't kill him, he got himself in a very nice spot. A Banshee is crossing the map for souL. And souL did get up another tank, but it's still a very, very tough spot for the Terran at this point in the game. MaNa's actually going to go for it again, the Mad Lad. This might be a bit of an overcommitment. Right in front of the bunker, this is going to cost him a lot of Stalkers. They blink into the main base to keep being a pain. Banshee pops out, though. It's going to help work away on them. One Stalker remains. All the while, there's a Banshee going for the counterattack. Bunker's under fire. It's being repaired, though. Looks like it will finish up, probably, or stay alive. Meanwhile, the Banshee in the counterattack doesn't quite have Cloak. Does Cloak finish? Yes, it does. So souL able to keep it alive. However, there actually is an Observer. What a crazy game. souL loses 8 SCVs. MaNa loses 5. souL changes his Banshee's course to go back into the main base. I'm not sure if MaNa thinks he killed it or not, because he is really just focusing on the attack here. Yeah, that blink from MaNa was really aggressive. I mean, so far he's just been trading out well with souL. Does he have enough, though? If souL went in with this Banshee right out the gate, he would have actually just killed tons of probes, and now his tank's dead. And with this dead tank, it's going to be tough for him to stop this. There's simply too much Protoss here, and this is where the snowball is going to get rough. Yeah, another tank's about to pop out for souL, but I think he's honestly just dead here. Tank pops out on the wrong side of town, and yeah, that's definitely souL dead here. It was a slow death. The Banshee goes in late. There is double Banshee hitting the third base, but yeah, he's just dead. He can't stop it. MaNa takes the 2-1 lead. Unsurprisingly, MaNa, if he's playing good enough to take down Clem, he's playing good enough to take down souL. And we could just potentially have one more map before souL is knocked down to the lower bracket, and MaNa potentially goes on to face Solar, which would be nuts. Really not the horse I'd bet on. I'd bet on for it. I mean, MaNa plays good sometimes, but he's playing pretty darn well today. Choosing his builds very well, I think, is the main thing. Feels like I'm watching Parting. Kinda, yeah. Or Patience. YOLO Blinks is very Patience. Alright. In the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's Liquid MaNa. And in the top left-hand side of the map, it's souL. If you're souL, how do you bring it back, though? Couldn't tell ya. Could not tell ya. Looks like souL might be planning a potential proxy, or just taking the long way around. Oh, maybe he's gonna proxy like a Marauder or something in a barracks. No, he's just scouting. He's paying a lot of attention to this SCV just to be scouting. Oh, okay. eBay block, gotcha. Just trying to be as big of a pain as possible to MaNa. MaNa is gonna go try and throw up his command center or his nexus and be like, what? What? You're telling me I can't expand? He may simply go take the other base. Does souL delay the eBay? Yes, he does. And MaNa says, yep, I'll just go expand here, I guess. Thanks, guy. Not that I want to. SCV engages the probe. This is actually kind of an important fight. I think the SCV wins. Yes, it does. Like a boss. MaNa tries to repay souL with the proxy with the counter pylon block, but it's just not the same. If you ever play Protoss, it ain't the same trying to block that. Looks like MaNa is gonna kill that SCV. Gets his nexus up. A little bit delayed though. Not in his favorite spot in the world, no doubt. Reaper runs on in. MaNa actually canceled the Nexus and started it at his natural. That means that souL's gonna have a nice lead for himself. It's uncomfortable having the third as your natural if you're the Protoss, but then also canceling it and starting it here. That's no small commitment. That's 100 minerals gone. Also the time lost. So MaNa not in a great spot at all getting eBay blocked like that. Reaper might even get itself a probe. Oh, gets the probe and gets out. Adding insult to injury. And yeah, a pretty darn good start for souL, dare I say. Hallucinated Oracle for MaNa. You don't actually have a Stargate. souL is looking to make a Widowmine drop happen. There isn't a lot to defend versus this. MaNa spots this though, so he knows. Does souL keep retargeting? Nope, he simply goes for the 4 probes. Should be able to get on out. Realizing that that one Widowmine was forsaken, but at least he saves the other. Yeah, not a bad spot at all for souL this game. Equal worker count as the Protoss is good. MaNa doesn't really have anything spectacular going on for him. He does have up Robo Bay, but it's not like he's going to be able to get out too much. Scan doesn't get the Observer. That really hurts for souL. Always a pain. Double eBay on the way for souL, 3rd CC, so he's really just macroing up. MaNa is working hard on his Colossus production. So far no Forge either, so it's potentially an attack coming from MaNa. However, he's still only on 2 gates. So we'll see if he throws up a ton more gates or throws up a Forge or something. Or starts charge. Alright, yeah. 1-1 on the way for souL, so he's going to have nice upgrades. Whereas MaNa is potentially just looking for a big old attack. And I get the feeling that that's going to be the case. He's got out his 2 Colossus, he's going to have a Prism, he throws up a ton of gateways, and he's just going to be going for broke. I mean, it's going to be tough to make work, though, because souL has siege tanks, he's got a Raven. As long as his Raven doesn't get sniped, I think he's going to be in a good spot. Even got a tank on the high ground. He's taking this very seriously. Has souL seen this? No, he really hasn't. He hasn't scouted out much. But he's going to see the Stalkers coming on in, sees the Adept. He's like, oh, this could be troublesome. Is there going to be enough of the Terran to hold on? I mean, souL is up on supply. His upgrades aren't done yet. However, his Combat Shield and his Stim is. If MaNa hesitates just for a second, souL probably will make it to his 1-1. Regardless, it's going to be tough for the Protoss to push in here. There is a ton of tanks. Interference Matrix goes down. One of the Colossus not going to help out in the fight. The second that 1-1 is done as well, souL's army becomes so much better for this defense. Yeah, and I don't know if MaNa's going to be able to make this push work. This is just a very entrenched Terran. Anti-armor missile goes down. All of a sudden, souL says, right, I'm going for it. Beautiful force fields from MaNa. A lot of the SCVs getting cooked up as a result, but the army supply for souL is just immense compared to what MaNa has. Even if souL just macros from here on out, he's going to be fine. He took damage, but it wasn't a critical amount. And as a result, we take a look here. MaNa just retreats. He's just like, yeah, I did what I could. Never mind, he's actually going to decide to try and push on in again. Testing the waters, force fields go down. A few units getting cooked up by these Colossus is nice. It's like 4 probes died. Wouldn't mind getting some damage done. But yeah, I mean, this is just too many tanks, I think, for souL. The 1-1 as well is just immense. MaNa is doing a good job trying to abuse the positioning with this. The tanks reposition, though, they're going to inch forward. This could actually potentially lock the Protoss army into a bad engagement. Those tanks are going to separate up this force. Colossus just being a pain, hitting this 3rd base, but yeah, MaNa's going to go for it, and I don't know about this one. SCV's immediately pulled by souL. He realizes he pretty much just needs to hold this attack. The Colossus are being microed back. Well done by MaNa. The Bio's stimming forward. The Stalkers are standing strong, however. souL's starting to run out of gas a little bit. The supply surprisingly even. The main part about that was that the siege tanks did not help out in that fight at all. Protoss player doing a good job keeping his Colossus alive. souL, if he was the one being aggressive, he'd have no problem inching forward and abusing MaNa, but the tanks really are just being dodged around by MaNa. MaNa is smart enough not to attack into the tanks, and as a result, he's just doing fine. He's taken good trades time and time again. The worker count has fallen quite far behind for souL. There's now going to be a Zealot counterattack moving into the main base. Siege tanks not sieged. MaNa says, right, this is my moment. Even then, though, he has a tough time pushing into the tanks. He's got this big old drop in the main base, though. souL's going to have to do something about this. Well, for starters, he's counterattacking. souL hesitates a little bit, but does decide to get a Colossus. That little bit of hesitation that he ran away with, though, definitely did cost him actually getting it. The main base attack will be getting cleaned on up. Thankfully for souL, he does indeed have those upgrades. Otherwise, he would be in a much, much worse position. Siege tank stays alive. MaNa's moving out on the map. He's down on supply, but his army still seems pretty good. 4 Colossus versus a Terran who doesn't have really anything to counter them. I mean, MaNa really doesn't have much of a buffer at all for his army. However, in comes a couple of Archons. souL now wants to move out. He wants to tie this series up. He's got his tanks. MaNa's crossing the bridge. Does souL siege them up? Yes, he does. He has that siege force. High Templar gets picked off. MaNa's actually engaging on in here. souL wants to focus down the Colossus with his tanks, whether it be with his Bile. MaNa does a very good job juggling these units with the Prism, though, but there's simply not enough to buffer for this army, it would seem, and Marauders are closing the gap. The 1-1 upgrade's really shining through there for souL, and MaNa can juggle, but he can't juggle all day. And as a result, his army is gone, and I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on any longer. souL counterattacking, souL tying up this series most likely. Siege tanks, Marines, and Marauders running in, and yeah, souL ties it up. 2-2. All right, and we are going to get on into our final game of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. We will be back after this match. Well, we'll be throwing and be back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have had a bit more sleep then. It's been a little bit of a derpy cast, I'll admit. Got to go to class after this too, so that's going to be fun. I'm trying to tell, is it snowing outside right now? Oh, it's snowing something fierce outside right now. Oh boy, this is where the fun begins. Oh yeah. I can barely see through a crack in my window. It's coming. Oh Lord, the snow's coming. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. All right, we're continuing on. Final match of the day. It is tied 2-2 in the top left-hand side of the map. It is Liquid MaNa. And in the bottom right-hand side, it's souL. We will see who's going to advance on to take on souL tomorrow, or who's going to have to fight it out in the lower bracket. The winner of this gets some guaranteed cash. Not bad at all. And yeah, let's just play it out. See who's going to take it. Both souL and MaNa. That's the beautiful thing of Afreeca World. All these players are my favorite. I wouldn't invite them to the cups if they weren't my favorite, if I didn't enjoy watching them play. And yeah, we were blessed to have a cup with so many of my favorites. Such a wide range of players here today. While MaNa is scouting out for proxies, we have Special representing Mexico. We've had Sort of representing Sweden, souL representing Korea, Estrella representing the United States of America, Clem representing France, MaNa representing Poland, Bly representing the Ukraine, all amazing players, and a bunch of amazing fans tuning in. Thanks so much, everyone. I know we broke 500 viewers multiple times, which makes me very happy. Having the new PC is very nice. No stutter issues, no lag or anything like that, knock on wood. But so far the stream's been pretty darn perfect. Tomorrow we're going to play out the remaining matches. We're going to have Falcon Paladin with me, which is going to be a blast as always. Probably talking about random things as usual, as opposed to me rambling by myself talking about random things. Reaper says death to probes. souL has got 1 probe so far. Make that 2 probes. Not bad at all. Two probes for the Reaper. He scouts that there's nothing. And souL really did scout that there's nothing. I mean, there couldn't really be a building hidden there, I don't believe. So he should be kind of worried about what's coming his way. As a result, we see a bunker going down at the front. Widow Mines are on the way. I'm willing to bet he wants to burrow that in his main. Maybe at the front to catch any potential units. They just put it up the ramp. I'm all for putting Widow Mines at the top of ramp. Sometimes, like, no matter the player, they'll mess up. If it's by a bunker, of course, MaNa's going to be paying attention. But if it's just, like, a little bit further out, sometimes you'll catch the unit. Or at least that's how it works for me. Widow Mine going into the main base is very important. Providing that anti-air. While souL just getting up his bunker. And being safe for the most part, which is good to see. Not a bad opening for him at all. Not a bad one for MaNa, but he does hope to get some damage done with this proxy. Widow Mine waddling away. Says, why are adepts such jerks? Hitting me with their frisbees. souL is worried about the proxy Stargate, seeing as how that's happened already before in this series. That's no surprise at all. Oh, wants to lower those depots. Let these boys... Let them mine! In comes MaNa, heading towards that natural base. Widow Mine definitely going to kill an Oracle. Boom, dead. Oracle, SCVs run right by that Adept, whoever the Marines come in. And so far, not a lot of damage getting done by MaNa. The Adept, as a matter of fact, getting most of the damage. Oracle comes on in towards the natural. Gonna get Marine. So far, 4 in total going down. souL wants to resume building that command center ASAP, and he does just that. All the while, there's a bit of counter damage thanks to these Widow Mines, but only gets the 2 probes, and everything gets cleaned up. So not bad at all from MaNa. souL has his 3rd CC on the way, but it's been scouted. He has a tank on the way as well, which is very important. Versus someone who's very good at abusing unit positions, like MaNa, you want to get out the siege tanks. souL has double eBay, 3 CC, so he's just playing very macro-oriented. Something that he's a very good Terran at. Oh man, it's like a total whiteout. Oh, this is going to be fun. I actually have been meaning to message Falcon regarding if I potentially lose power for resuming the broadcast. souL's Viking biding its time. Gonna look for something. Gonna land, maybe get itself. Nope, nothing. Nada. Stalkers blink into the main base. Recall once they realize how bad of an idea it is being trapped in a Terran's main base. souL's got himself quite the army. He's got his 1-1 on the way. This time MaNa does have his own +1 on the way though. MaNa seems to be willing to skip upgrades a lot of the time. This game he is not. Extended Thermal Lance, armor on the way for MaNa. Playing more passively this game, I'd say. Probably a good choice on Nightshade. So we could have ourselves a very long macro game. Charge on the way. Another Robo on the way for MaNa. Seeing as how souL seems to be reluctant to make Vikings, definitely don't mind MaNa going hard on the Colossus. Sensor tower going up for souL is nice to see. MaNa's maybe thinking of pushing on in as souL wants to secure up a 4th base. Oh, MaNa can reach. souL's shuffling his tanks forward. Wants to try and zone these guys away. We'll do just that. souL gonna be looking for drops. However, MaNa sees it thanks to this observer he's got. Yeah, we're just heading into a full-on macro game now. This is going to be an interesting one. souL should probably be throwing up a Ghost Academy sooner rather than later. He's going to be going for Mass Liberators, getting Advanced Ballistics, making use of how you can research it on the Fusion Core now, which is very nice. Ghost Academy on the way too. A bunker at the 3rd. I love it. Help deal with those pesky Zealot run-bys. And both players are actually going to be maxing out this game. While we've had some scrappy TVP games previously, this one, both of them are maxing out, macroing up. souL is a 5th base on the way. It's like a bit of a drop going down for souL, but it's a bit of a tall order to go for a drop when and get harassment done when there's literally nothing else going on out on the map. Advanced Shockwave, or Enhanced Shockwave coming out for souL. Gonna be able to get some strong Ghost EMPs. Even if your opponent isn't going hard on the High Templar, or your opponent is making Disruptors, which they don't counter, EMP is good. It's real good. We'll see how souL's gonna try and approach this. He's got a lot of Liberators. The problem is, this map is a very wide open one. souL coming on in. He knows that there's all this Protoss. Tanks eating shots. Advanced Ballistics is done, so the Disruptors can be zoned out. souL's trying to grab up some of them. Gonna realize that he doesn't have Concussive Shell to catch those Disruptors. Probably gonna want to start that soon. Liberators, though, the main component of souL's army. Gonna help him out. Seeing as how Legacy of the Void is much more fast-paced, we rarely see Terrans we rarely just see Terrans hurtling with Liberators. And so, the Tempest isn't as useful, however, MaNa's going for them. Can be used to break those sieges. Skirmishing going down. Both players losing units. Zealots coming in towards the third base in mass. Does that command center get lifted? The answer is going to be a yes, staying alive. Meanwhile, souL trying to encroach with the Liberators. Tempest are just pretty darn slow for the speed in which souL's pushing on in. EMP's hitting a lot of the army. Disruptors don't care, but the Disruptors are all getting picked off. Literally all the Disruptors are now gone. The Vikings can even engage the Tempest. A great engagement for souL. MaNa's got himself a bit of a bank still. But the damage that souL has got done is absolutely tremendous. EMPs knock out a lot of the health of this army, so the Bio can just slaughter really everything. The Colossus going down, it's just Tempest, Zealots, and Stalkers does not beat Mass Bio. A lot more Vikings coming in for souL too, more Ghosts joining up into it. Once the EMPs land, this army's just going to be so weak, and souL will chew right through it. High Templar are in the mix, but there's also the Ghosts here still, so if souL identifies this, he's just going to land an EMP or two and be fine. Although, does he actually have an EMP? I don't believe he does on any of these Ghosts, so this could be a Psystorm massacre here. souL has no choice but to retreat as MaNa is pushing this army back. Blink goes down. souL falls back to his planetary. His bio is very overstimmed. Attacks from having to dodge the disruptor shots. The Vikings are going to come in and slaughter the Tempest there. Just puts it down. But the problem is there's not that much on the ground left for souL. He's repairing his planetary as much as he can, but the Protoss army seems too strong. souL dropping more mules to try and repair the planetary, but it is now gone, and MaNa seems to have produced enough to push through. souL is in danger now with losing that base. His economy is still functional, but he didn't do enough damage to MaNa, who can now begin rebuilding his army. EMPs can go down, but they don't disable disruptors. souL needs to repair the PF with everything that he has, but he isn't. He loses the base when he could have saved it. Big mistake there from souL, losing that anchor point. A Zealot counterattack now moving towards the third base, gonna put souL in more hurt. Looks like MaNa could be set to advance here. MaNa advances. This is going to be a very impressive run from him, beating two formidable Terrans. However, he's got to close it out. souL is trying to hang on, but his economy has been hurt. He's having a tough time versus the Disruptors and everything else. Looks like he's going to get the jump on this army a little bit. Does MaNa toss out the Novas? Yes, he does, but souL not able to focus down the Disruptors in time. Takes big hits. Another Nova goes out, gets another big hit. And I think that's all MaNa's going to need in order to close this one out. souL taps out after going down 2-3. MaNa is the victor today. And that is it. Well done. MaNa advances and will play Solar tomorrow first thing. So, that's going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I do thank everyone for tuning on in. It has been a treat to stay here and cast with you. Record viewers, I think, having this high viewers for the entire event. It is awesome. No issues or anything like that. Yeah, I just want to say thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. I will be here tomorrow with Falcon Paladin. So same time tomorrow, we'll be here on stream. Yeah, so same time tomorrow. We will see you then. And yeah, let's just put... See you tomorrow. Yes, thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. See you tomorrow. Same time. Yeah, just thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. I'm going to link some of my stuff here. Check out my Twitter. Leave a follow there. And then my YouTube as well. going to link that as well. Check those out. I will be back tomorrow. And yeah, just one more thing before we head off. I'm going to link the matcherino in chat again. And I'm going to give you guys one walkthrough for it. Let's do that now, shall we? So, let us do this. Open the matcherino page. You will show here. There's the prize pool for the event. And we will press sign on in. We still got a fair few more of these codes to use. You can sign on in however you like. You'll sign in. You'll press contribute here. Type in coupon code AW50. It'll add 50 cents to the prize pool, and then you'll press contribute. And yeah, that is gonna be that for today. I really appreciate everyone tuning on in. We'll see you tomorrow. First match is going to be MaNa taking on souL, which will be really fun. And then we'll have all the other lower bracket matches. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.